Alright, what's up everyone? I'm Faloki, and today I've got some bad news. We lost him. The man has gone, and he has signed with the team with objectively the worst fan base in the NFL, and obviously you can probably piece together. Everson Griffen has signed with the Dallas Cowboys, and this one hurts. This one hurts a lot because, Everson Griffen, he seemed like the most, reasonable option. He seemed like the most likely option to help our pass rush situation. And now he's gone. He's with the Cowboys. And, if it was any other team, it wouldn't be as bad, but it's the Cowboys. And now they have more of an excuse to say this is our year every single year. But, let me quit hating on the Cowboys and the Cowboys fans. I respect Everson Griffen. This is a decision that he thought was the best for his career and the best for him this year. So I respect it. He can sign with whatever team he wants, but it really sucks. I thought that this was going to be a good option for the Seahawks. I've been saying it for pretty much this whole free agency that Everson Griffen and Josh Gordon should be our two options with the last little bit of money that we have. Now, basically, we're out of pass rush options from free agency. Obviously, there are some players like Clay Matthews and like Snacks Harrison, but Snacks Harrison isn't such a pass rusher. It's just disappointing. We needed to make a big upgrade, or at least an upgrade for our pass rush this year, because we were second worst in the league last year when it comes to sacks, and we had Jadeveon Clowney, who's good at getting pressure on the quarterback and allows for other people to possibly get to the quarterback as well. And our highest sack producer was Rasheem Green with 4 sacks. Now, that's disappointing. 4 sacks is not good for the highest sack producer on the team. We haven't really been able to add many other options in free agency. Obviously, we made a huge trade for Jamal Adams, which can probably make a bit of an impact when it comes to the pass rush, but he's not going to be just a pass rusher. He's not going to be there every single play trying to rush the passer. So it's not going to be the biggest of impacts. He'll obviously make an impact on like 5-10% of his plays while he's on the field, but he's not going to be a pass rusher that can consistently try to go after the quarterback and consistently be a good player and create pressure. Jadeveon Clowney, he's not bad, but he wants $17 million or more dollars. That's just something that obviously the Seahawks can't do, and I don't think most teams will want to do, especially in the times that we are with the whole thing, the coronavirus. It's so disappointing because, I have high hopes for the Seahawks, and I think everyone does. Our pass rush, I think it'll be fine. We have Benson Mayo, we have Bruce Arvin, we have Shaquem Griffin, who I think can actually be really good. We have Jaron Reed. We have Darrell. We actually don't have Darrell Taylor. More news. Darrell Taylor is out indefinitely with a non-football related injury. Pete Carroll said something about it, I believe, after the last practice that they just had. And it's not looking good. We have Alton Robinson still. We still have some good players, some good options. We still have Rasheem Green. We have LJ Collier coming back, who should have a chip on his shoulder. He really needs to prove himself, but there's been some bad news recently. I don't want this video to be too long, but, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. Everson Griffen is gone. He would have been a great option, but now we have to continue to look forward. I don't know if Clay Matthews would be the best player that we could pick up. Maybe we could pick him up, put him as a solely pass rusher, try to move him to like a rush end or something. I don't know all the specifics of it, but maybe Clay Matthews, we can pick him up. I think that's probably going to be what the Seahawks end up doing. But now let's get into the hopeful side of things and talk about why I think the Seahawks defense will still be fine this year, even without a big pass rush option picked up in free agency. Now, obviously, we still have Rasheem Green on the team, and he was our leading sack producer last year. He only had 4 sacks, and that was horrible to lead the team. Obviously, Rasheem Green, as a second-year player without much experience, 4 sacks is fine. He did his best, but 4 sacks should never lead a team. And, he still has room to progress. He's still a young player. And maybe he can get up to that 6-7 range, which would definitely be good. But I still hope that wouldn't be the leading pass rusher for our team. And secondly, we have LJ Collier. He's still young. Technically, he's already a bust. A lot of people have labeled him as a bust after just 1 year. But he's going to have to do a lot to clear his name this year, and he's going to need to do a lot to prove that he's not a bust. He needs to prove that he's a first-round pick, and he's going to have to come out from adversity last year and play very well, get a lot of opportunities, and do well if he wants to actually prove himself not to be a bust. Because last year, the most snaps that he had in a single game was 37 as a first-round pick. And, he's going to need to come back and get opportunities. I would love to see the Seahawks give him opportunities this year. He needs to try to prove himself. The Seahawks should give him opportunities early on in the year, first few weeks, give him a chance to have a chip on his shoulder and produce. And if he doesn't, well, that's not good, but he better do it, because if he doesn't, he's already chalked up as a bust. He's just going to prove people right if he doesn't actually come in and produce this year. And, I think that he has room to progress, just like Rasheem Green. He's still young, and he just needs to have a chip on his shoulder. He needs to come in and produce, and he needs to come out and prove himself. Now, the third player that I'm pretty hopeful for when it comes to the pass rush next season is Jarran Reed. Now, obviously, Jarran Reed didn't do too great last year. He only had 2 sacks, but the year before that, he had 10.5. Now, 10.5 sacks last year would have almost tripled the highest sack producer that we had last year. So that would have been absolutely amazing. If he can go back to that 10 plus sacks in this next season, that would be absolutely amazing. It would help our defense tremendously. And, we have good other pass rushers. We have Benson Mayowa, we have Bruce Irvin, we have Alton Robinson, we have Darrell Taylor whenever he comes back. He should be fine before season starts. And, we have good options. We still have Rasheem Green. Like I said, we still have LJ Collier. We have decent depth. We have good players, but we don't have any great players, it seems like. Jarran Reed, I think, can be one of those great players. I think Bruce Irvin can be one of those great players. But everyone else, it just kind of seems like we have good depth. We don't have any players that are guaranteed to really make an impact. Like, we could possibly go back to maybe having a Jarran Reed have 7 or 8 sacks. We could have Bruce Irvin have 7 or 8 sacks. But then everyone else could just completely fall off and not play amazing. We have players that are good, but there's no guarantees that they actually play up to expectations. But I think that we'll be fine this year for one key reason, and that is our new and improved secondary. Now, obviously, we made some big changes this offseason when it came to the secondary, and I think that we made some very good upgrades when it came to the secondary. Obviously, Bradley McDougald was a good safety. He wasn't amazing, and now we have Jamal Adams. We gave up a lot for him, but I think that he will play well, especially with someone like Quandre Diggs, who seems to have a ton of chemistry with him. I think that those 2 safeties will play very well this season, will bail us out a lot when it comes to the big plays. They'll make big plays. I think Shaquille Griffin, he's only improved. I think that he's just going to get better, and he's going to play very well. And, we now have Quentin Dunbar as our cornerback 2 instead of Trey Flowers, and I think that that'll ease up on Trey Flowers, allow him to progress a lot better. I think he should progress probably between last year and this year. He should have progressed quite a bit, because he's still learning how to play corner after being moved from safety in college, I believe. And we still have Ugo Amadi, who can be a good option. We now have Marquise Blair, who's just going to be able to go anywhere he wants, because we have our 2 starting safeties. And, our linebackers are great. We have Bobby Wagner, the best linebacker in the league. We have KJ Wright, who's definitely good. We have Bruce Irvin, who is definitely going to be good. We have Jordan Brooks, who might be the best first-round pick the Seahawks have made in the last 5 years. I think our pass rush will definitely be better than it was last year. I'm not saying it's going to be anything great. I'm not saying it's going to be like top 10. If it is top 10, oh, it's over for the league. If we have a top 10 pass rush with the players that we have in the pass rush, our secondary and our linebacker group will be amazing. We're going to have a very good defense if we have a top 10 pass rush somehow. But, even if we don't have a top 10 pass rush, even if we don't have a top 20, as long as we have better than last year with all the upgrades that have been made around the pass rush in every other part of the defense, basically, I think we'll do very well this season. Even with a pretty average pass rush, I think we'll do very well on the defensive side. Honestly, I have high hopes for the Seahawks defense this year. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that Everson Griffen going to the Cowboys was a good option for him? Obviously, it's disappointing to see it happen, because I would have loved to have Everson Griffen. I think he could have made a pretty big impact for us. I think we still might sign Clay Matthews, but even if we don't make any pass rush options signings, I think we'll be fine. So let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel. I'm actually going to start posting again pretty soon. Follow me on Twitch. I'm going to start streaming pretty soon. And that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.